What's good with the YouTube? You already know. It's Flacco, Real Talk with Flacco, coming live and direct. And I got an interesting topic, man. A lot of people have been discussing the current issue that happened between the MA and MS-13 and so forth. And I haven't really gave my opinion too much on this or my perspective. So I figure at this time, let's get Flacco's perspective on this, man. So if you think that the issues between the MA and MS-13, specifically the East Coast branches and so forth, other states outside of the California base, have been not been going on. It's been going on for a while. And I'm going to go back to around 2011, 2009. At that time, you had an individual within the MS-13 who was a metal, right? Dreamer, who believed that he could bring a national unification within the MS-13. He thought that being an MA member and having that type of recognition within the MS-13 Cali branch was going to enable him to influence Salvador and so forth. He tried to put certain mandates that he wanted $50 per members, so forth. He tried to have relationships with the Knights Templar as well, also included in this. And a lot of the what you would call the federal, not the federal, what you would call the home base, Salvador, which has a lot more influence in these other states, they have a whole different agenda. They're not used to that California-based Cholo Stilo that's influenced by the Mexican mafia. So they've rejected that time and time again. They haven't had a very, what you would call a relationship that's in harmony amongst these two groups, within their own group. It's almost like you have two separate factions. You have a California base, which is MA influence, and then you have a national base. Dreamer thought he could pull this together. It didn't work. So the escalation of these issues have always been occurring for years. And it's happened in the feds before, because I know over there in Coleman, the MS-13 back in the days got off with the Sureños, and they were going to put them out there with the Norteños. And they asked them if that was going to be okay, which the Norteños were going to get ready to go do their thing, you know what I'm saying? But they ended up not putting them out there. So that's my perspective of this. The issues that are occurring right now have nothing to do with the MS-13 in the California base, because like I said, they have 3 MA members that are from the MS-13 California branch. It has to do with the nationwide, who are reporting basically to the homeland, who have a whole different agenda, a whole different way that they want to prosper on their own. They don't want to be under the dictates of the MA. They don't want to fly under the umbrella of the Sureños. They don't have that type of stilo. They don't have that type of way of life. They come from a whole different country that is totally different. So how do you think it makes them feel where they've built a super gang in El Salvador? They've been able to branch out different cells and networks throughout the country. Now to be told by a group that you're going to have to pay taxes, you're going to have to do this for us. They're not going to do that. It's just not going to happen. And that's my perspective of it. I think that the MS-13 in California will remain the same. They have too many influential members that have relationships with the MA as well as the members. So I don't see anything falling apart that way. But as far as these other individuals that are like in Washington and South Carolina, Massachusetts, New York, they're spread out everywhere. Those individuals are going to reject any type of MA oppression. And I'm going to call it oppression because that's how they feel and that's how they're taking it. Because you're trying to force your ways and your beliefs on a group that's been functioning on their own independently for so long. And now you're going to come and you have to follow under these guys. It's not going to happen because a lot of them can't really relate to some of the culture aspects that they're seeing. Yeah, they're Hispanic. Yeah, they're Latino. But it's a big difference between a lot of these countries. And a lot of these countries, let's keep it real, they don't get along with each other. El Salvador does not get along with Mexico. So now you got to take orders from the Mexican mafia? I don't see them doing that, And I think the skirmishes are going to continue if they decide to put them out there. This is just my personal opinion, my personal perspective. But you really got to take into account that the difference between the two entities of the MS-13. There is a big difference. They could be the same race, but there's still a different culture shock. All you got to do is watch the videos of the MS-13 and El Salvador. When they go in with the videos that they have filmed there, And you can already tell that these guys are totally different than the California based. Being from California with them doesn't pull no weight because they feel like they got this movement on their own. And so like I said, man, this is not anything new that's been going on. This has been brewing for a long, long time. And so it finally got to the point to where something happened. And like I've always said, man, in oppression, the threat of oppression is always going to build a revolt. All movements, all causes, no matter what they are formed off the threat of oppression. And in their eyes, the MA trying to dictate their program, they feel the threat of oppression. Therefore, what do? They react. So it's going to be a very interesting thing how administration is going to deal with this, man. Are they going to put them back out there in the yard? Are they going to start to separate the nationwide from the California base? Are they going to try to reconcile differences? Are the MA going to let them just do their thing on their own? What's going to occur? I really don't know. But I don't know for a fact, but I know and I believe that this MS-13 does not want to follow under the MA's umbrella. They're going to try to go independent and do their thing. And I don't think that they want to have, opposition and enemies with the MA. But they kind of want to do their own thing. They don't want to be taxed. They don't have to jump for them. They want to just do their own thing. We're in MS-13. This is us. So that's my personal opinion. That's my perspective, But a lot of people didn't really understand that this stuff has been going on for a minute. And what caused a lot of this friction was one particular member who was trying to, impress the other the other MA members of how much pull that he could have. Now he could turn this into a nationwide cell to where the MA has control of all these other states. He was trying to sell that pitch to all these groups, as well as build a working relationship with the Knights Templar to do all interactions as far as in the dope game. So this was a big, big issue, and it got shut down. It didn't go the direction where it wanted to go. So, of course, certain groups are going to have certain animosity. You think, the homies from down south, you think they're going to forget that you guys didn't want to get active with us? They're not going to forget. But these guys from across that border, all the way down to Salvador, man, they've been in a third world country to where how the game goes is very, very treacherous, man. And when you're dealing with treacherous individuals that are skilled in different types of warfare tactics and been through different types of battles and atmospheres that can't even compare to California, you're dealing with some dangerous individuals that are going to push. This is nothing new to them. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think any of them are fearful in any way. So it's going to be interesting, man. So I don't know what you guys particularly think, man. I think that eventually the Board of Prisons is going to separate them. You know what I'm saying? Because this isn't the first time they've had incidents, guys. They've been having them off and on. They can coexist over here, but then they can't coexist over here. They get off over here. They don't get off over here. Unless there's a leader that can try to bridge the gap from the California base. But they don't respect each other like that. The California base feels like they can't get in line with what we expect over here, and it's vice versa. Like, you don't dictate our program. So, I mean, like every power struggle, you know what I'm saying? It's the jealousy and envy in the game. Someone is always going to be outspoken against things that they don't like or the direction that they think that their game needs to go. And that's exactly where MS-13 is at today. They're at a position at a standstill. And you're going to see what side people are going to go on, and I think a lot of the nationwide ones are looking at the California-based ones as sellouts. That's my personal opinion. That's some of the things that we've heard, and then vice versa. A lot of the ones from the California base are looking at the national syndicate one as, not on our level. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, man, this is just a quick spiel, man. I figured I would put out my personal view, my personal perspective, man. I'm going to have something coming up in the future. I don't know how long. I got someone that's working with me on the true content. It's going to be as accurate as you can about the MS-13 18th Street conflict. A lot of stuff you're not going to know or ever heard, but this is going to be a factual account because the person that's going to work with me on this is going to be good. And I'm going to go into that spill. Other than that, man, there's not much to really say on this, man. I think both groups are going to continue to clash. I think that there's going to be see, that's the difference. You know, California based, you know how to politic, you know how to be diplomatic. Over here, the national syndicate, they know how to do things through force, through actions. They don't understand these politics. They don't understand the Trollo Stilo or the Sureño concepts and so forth, because they're naive to it and they don't want to be a part of it. And that's just the truth. Anyways, man, this is Flacco, Real Talk, man. I decided to drop another video, man. You know, I hope you guys got some comments on this one. What's your guys' views, man? Mine's are very simple, man. You know what I'm saying? It's just going to be two different factions. I could be wrong. This is just my perspective, my view, and what I think from doing the research that I've done. Anyways, I'm out. You guys have a good one. Stay blessed, stay positive, and keep doing what you do.